These are great times. No matter how dismal and bleak it is, in the spirit realm, things are actually getting going. These are great times. These are great times. In the spirit realm, things are actually getting going.
Alright, we're here with Brother Bobby Hemmitt at the Temple of Alchemy. It's good being here again. I see since the last time you had an additional altar or shrine to your home right here at the doorway. Tell us a little bit about this entity, this spirit, and this altar, this shrine you got here.
This is the ancient god Pan, which originally has its origin in Egypt as a form of Bes and an actual ancient form of the baby Set. This is the pre-dynastic Set now. It had nothing to do with the dynastic Set.
Right.
It's the primordial god of all time. Later on moved up into Babylon and on into Phoenicia, and then the Greeks inherited Pan. The horns he has represents nature. We found this statue about a year ago, and he represents nature, but he's the baby Horus, Harpocrates, that's back on the scene to burrow his way into our consciousness. He's a god of music and a god of creativity and the god of the forest, and this is his enchanted land that is coming about, and he's bringing about to this particular realm. So this is a great day that we have. He's a music deity, and we have music. We got flutes, we got a couple other things, the pan pipes, candy. He's a playful spirit. He wants more toys. I got a picture of Krishna, which would be the East Indian form of him with the magical flute. And this is his shrine, Pan. And he's coming to this realm, and he told us about a month ago to put him at the door.
Alright.
And we did that, and he said drape him in red. So that's why I'm wearing red tonight.
Okay.
Red candles. And his one of his protectors is the god Ganesha, he told us. Because this Pan here is a new Pan. He's called a Diopan, which is son of Dionysus, which is son of Osiris. So that makes him a form of Horus, the coming of Horus. So he's a Christ-like deity, you see. So we have that. We have the archway, which is a doorway of another dimension, which has three spirits of childlike spirits with wings. These are European versions, but still yet this is the best we could do, but it has great renditions of the motifs that is being shown there. And so he has candy and all of this, and he's a god that will be setting into our consciousness. And he's on the scene now. This is the god Pan.
Alright. So I noticed you got the horses, the red horse down here.
Yeah, and when we get through, we're going to fill all that up with toys, because he said he wants toys. He also said he likes silver. He told us silver. So when I was in Baltimore, this fell off a Christmas tree, but we couldn't find the Christmas tree it fell off of. And it just appeared in the hotel. And it's a silver chalice and all of that. Got another flute up in there and all. So all of this stuff is the mystical enchanted land of the fairy realm that that accompanies him, and he's bringing through. So this is a great day. And it's telling us to be more childlike. In the particular aspect of don't worry. Let the new beginning take you to the next realm.
Alright, on that note, check you out in the lecture. All the information you got to give about Pan. And the name of this lecture is
Linda. It's called Pan. Linda, come and get on the tape for a minute. Come on, you straight, hold on. This is called Pan Heru, outside the circles of time.
Alright.
Which means that time has no bounds on us in this particular level. Are binding on us, and it's outside the circles of time. Where's she at? Yeah.
So no boundaries to the circles of time, right?
Right, and that's what he's doing. He's bringing this fairy realm, but it's all in our mind.
Right.
It's all in our mind.
Does this mean that we're going to another level, Bobby?
Yeah, definitely. Right. When the child comes, that means the other level.
Right.
Yeah.
Here comes the goddess Sister Linda Babylonian.
Yeah. This is the Sister Linda, and she's draped in her mystical aspect, in the aspect of Lakshmi. And you know, so we're here at the shrine, and Pan is the one that actually came to her and told her that he wanted to do this. So you know, so we say at this particular shrine, and at the presence of Pan Heru, that we are going to new heights.
New heights we go. On that note, Ashe.
Ashe.
Peace.
Peace.
Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnu Shashivarnam Chadurabhujam Prasannavadanam Jayed Sarva Vignoparashyantaye. This chant comprising of magical sounds will dissolve obstacles that lie in the future, unseen. Obstacles unseen.
We here at what we call the Lakshmi Shrine. This is the goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of gold. She's a form of Het-Heru Hathor in Egypt, Erzuli in Voodoo, West Africa. Another form of Oshun in West Africa also, because there's 22 Erzulis, 22 Oshuns. There's forms of her in Asia. Forms of her is Kuan Yin, Tara. There's different forms of Lakshmi. Goddess of prosperity. Well, she got it. Anyway. So I decided, this is my home, and I decided to, you know, something happened. We're supposed to do this sit-down lecture. Let me hold that book there. Yeah, just, I got to keep it because there's some stuff I got to get out of here. So I know where it is if it's there. Yeah, anyway. I mean, it's no problem. You can look at it and all. It's just that when I got to find some stuff, I got to know where it is. But anyway, we was going to do a sit-down lecture. If you've seen some of my tapes, sit-down lectures become very popular because they become more detailed. And we're going to do a sit-down lecture, me and the brother Rudra, in October. And we invited about 8 people, and 30 people showed up. So I was like, well, shit, we might as well keep this rolling. So I decided to cut out the middleman because all the places in Atlanta was charging you too much. Niggas just go crazy, charge you too much for a spot. You got to pay damn near $500 for a spot just to rent out a place. So I said, well, you know, hey, we can do it here. And so we cutting out the middleman, you know. And as a result, you know, so we're trying to see how it goes based on the seating or whatever. And It might be a little crowded or whatever, but hey, I've lectured in places way smaller than this, believe it or not. So, so as a result, we're going to we probably start doing these once a month. You know, I used to do them once a month back in the 90s. So we're going to do them once a month or every other month. Yeah, go on through, there's some chairs back there. And there's some chairs back there. Hold on 1 minute. Do me a pause. Hold up. 5, which was actually the sit-down lecture. Now, there's an excellent tape on that you can get with the brother Rudra here to get the DVD. It's called The Day of the Dead at the Lakshmi Shrine. And it's very interesting because it shows the Lakshmi Shrine. Now, this is the Lakshmi Shrine in this corner. Now, this Lakshmi Shrine usually takes up this whole part, starting from this door here to this wall. So it takes up that and it covers this doorway. And also, it's a much more elaborate, rich shrine, so we had to condense it. So we just decided to do it here because it got a lot of good energy. I'm going to pour some libation, and we don't necessarily have to wait on people, you know, to wait for some building to come about, you know, to somebody get some things, you know. So we could just do them here. Now, Phil Valentine used to do them in his house. He had a brownstone up in New York, and I thought, and I figured this out, that he used to just have these throw pillars, and people would come there and be all on the floor. And I found out you could even get more people in if they're on the floor. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, niggas with false hips and shit. Now, you might get down that motherfucker and might not be able to get back up and stuff like that, and might not be able to get back up. And so, so don't worry about the people taking off the shoes in the house or whatever, because we're going to Creole in the place anyway. And if you hadn't heard about that, that's some all-purpose cleaner that you can get to clean your house with. It's called Crayolan. And they sell it downtown at Miller's Drugstore down here, and they got 2 different types. So that means that any kind of spirit that come in your house, you got to get up out of there with some Crayolan. Also, it's very key at this time, and I'm going to talk about this, that you need to get some pineapple juice. Now, Linda, if anybody has come in, it's come in, you could also, don't let them miss out on, getting the funds and all, because we don't want them to feel neglected by not paying the money, People get a little upset about that when they're not able to give money, you know what I'm saying? I want to be like Creflo Dollar in them, you know what I'm saying? People got issues when they don't tithe and shit, so, so I don't want to, keep them away from tithing. We got this tape, Lakshmi Day of the Dead, and how many did you bring?
I brought 11 of them.
Okay, so you can get your hands on those. And I have one on a cassette that I just did. There's some much more advanced stuff on Katrina. I did one on Katrina back in October. Then when I went to Cleveland, there was a lot more information came down. So we have a couple of those. It's called the Cosmic DNA Victory. But you want to get that Day of the Dead video because it actually shows the altars and it can inspire you to put your altars together. Now, this is the Lakshmi altar, which covers this side of the room because it's much more elaborate. And in the sun room, you're looking at Erzuli's altar. And that's Erzuli's altar, and here, up over here, you can't see it now because of the chairs. This is the underworld altar. And I got a pot here with a skull in it. And so the brother say, like I said, if anybody come in your house and break in your house and they see that pot with that skull, you just believe they ain't going to stick around to steal shit or whatever, But then again, black people are creative. I got a homeboy broke in some white folks' house and stole a bunch of stuff, then went down and cut on the TV and started watching TV and started eating, and the damn nigga fell asleep. Watching TV, eating, and the crackers came in and the nigga just sprawled out. You see, so who knows? But I'm just trying to say, it's good to get these particular altars and stuff because it permeates a certain amount of energy. Now, we must understand this particular part about this when you're dealing with this. We're not dealing with religion. We're not talking about you being subordinate to no deity in the universe. These altars only indicate or permeate, or it's a manifestation of what's on the inside of you. So the altar is supposed to be a reflection of you. Everybody's soul is nothing but these gods and goddesses. So that's what. So you don't want to get this twisted on how these altars and different things. We celebrate Lakshmi because Lakshmi is in all of us. Lakshmi sits in the heart chakra, and everybody has a heart chakra. Shiva, the god Shiva, sits in the third eye, or the crown chakra, the third eye. So we got the different entities set on different realms inside of you. And that's the key we got to keep dealing with at this particular time, because at this particular time, the gods that are returning is on the inside of us now. Back in 1999, which started the whole Afghanistan thing with the Taliban, or the Taliban, and the whole Al-Qaeda, which is nothing but a government facility. It's nothing but something invented by the government to be the monkey man or the ghost man for their wars. But a certain incident happened, and you got to do the math on this. A group of people in Afghanistan, which that particular area used to be a part of what is called Kashmir. There's still a form of Kashmir that still exists over there, and that's the land where the Shiva mysteries were taught. The god Shiva is nothing but the god Osiris, the god Dionysus in Phoenicia, later on Greece, and all. But the god Shiva and Osiris is, and this whole Christ complex is this particular energy or this entity or this particular mystery system that was over in Afghanistan. Now they said in 1999 that they had these celebrations going on. Now I needed to cut my nails. Anyway, they had these celebrations going on, and they asked them why were they doing these celebrations. This was in '99. They said we are celebrating a group of gods that live in some hidden gods that live inside of the United States. And by 2001, this was in '99. By 2001, they was getting the shit bombed out of them. You see what I'm saying? With this whole Taliban thing. And so with the whole Shiva connection, that means that these people know that there's some stuff that's going on here. Not only that, was a group in India that said it. So this whole concept here of we have to understand at this particular time that this thing is coming up out of us, and more so with this particular lecture, which is a very special lecture because we're coming together tonight to celebrate the return of an ancient primordial god called Pan, or Harpocrates, a form of Heru. Now, if you was a Christian, you could say we was coming to celebrate the return of baby Jesus. But in so many words, that's what the whole concept comes from. So we could even say the return of baby Jesus. But that's where that concept came from. So we're real interested in, because we're going to go into this tonight to show you so this is this energy that's permeating, and his rendition or his image is right here at this door. Now this is interesting here because I'm going to pour libation in a few minutes. Y'all all right? Yeah. This is interesting. Now do you need to light out? Somebody want to just a little intimate setting, and you want to smooch a little bit of, do some things, pop a feel or cop a feel, or well, we can cut the little light down and make it a little romantic and stuff like that. Everything's possible. We don't want you to feel not welcome. You see what I'm saying? Nobody's above you. Here's a book called Ancient Christian Magic. Now, how the hell there could be some ancient Christian magic, or what they say pre-Christianity? That means that means there's a Christianity that somebody stole and reworked it. You see, so we're talking about the Coptic religion known as the Gnostics. This particular book, Ancient Christian Magic, it says Coptic text of ritual power. And I want to put this in here. I'm going ahead of myself, but I want to show you this. The Gnostics worship a deity called Abraxas, another form of Horus, another form of Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Another form of Hercules that is the same. See, you thinking these are, mystical stories, and it's all the same thing. You can go and find the Christ. I want to put the word Christ other than the whole Jesus thing, or Christos. But one of the ancient Egyptian forms is called Abraxas. Carlos Santana did a record called Abraxas. back in the 70s. And you know, what's on the cover? A black woman, charcoal chocolate black. You see what I'm saying? Butt naked. I should bring that cover out. I got it in here. And she got a dove sitting right where her thing is. You see what I'm saying? Which is very, very powerful. I guess that's why that white woman showed up and released them doves during Michael Jackson's trial. Dove meaning another form of the Heru energy. Now, it's interesting here. I want to show you something here. And I should have blew this up too, but you know, you can't think of everything. Should have blown this one up. This is on page 272. And it is a ritual to a recipe, and it's named Our Lord Jesus Christ. Now, try to understand this. What's confusing people is the Jesus of 2,000 years ago of Rome, even the name was stolen from ancient Egypt. But we don't want to get, you know, because it's got several names. Horus, Khonsu. There's several names. It's not one person that had the monopoly on this Christ form. It's just that everybody else in the world understood that the Christ was to come inside of us. And that's the difference between what the people are dealing with now and giving the preachers all their money. You see what I'm saying? And hoping some white man let them into heaven, is the Christ would come into all of us. So in this particular part here, this particular Coptic thing that says Ikas or whatever, which is another name, they have a picture of a rooster and chicken in a chicken recipe. Which is saying in actuality, who would ever know that they got a chicken recipe as what would be the Christ food? And who would ever know the lofty heights that we would take this shit the last 200 years? Because even when they did this thing, and it's just interesting here how things go. But it's interesting here. Now, what you say? No, what are you trying to say that chicken gonna know? I'm trying to tell you this. Whenever you are in trouble health-wise, and your soul needs to do what it needs to cure you, or cure itself, or cure the body, it might not respond to some shit that the doctor give you. You see what I'm saying? In the hospital, it might not respond to what some health vegetarian person tell you you might need to do. It might respond to what it wants. So it might need some fucking fried chicken. I'm telling you the spirit stuff, how the spirit world goes. You see what I'm saying? And remember, if it sounds ridiculous, you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to go do it the ridiculous. Remember on the movie, The Matrix, she said, no one has ever done this before. You're going into a government facility. No one has ever done this before. And he said, that's exactly why it's going to work. That's the same story with the Roman Vandals. The Vandals was a bunch of illiterate Germans. And Rome had kicked people's ass for damn near 1,000 years. And the people would say, you just don't go up against the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire. You know, so they were weak for about 100 years and nobody ever challenged them because they made such a reputation of kicking ass. Until it became a mythology. It became a religion. It became a form of consciousness that you can't win against the Roman Empire, about like America. You see what I'm saying? And here goes some people that didn't understand the mythology because they were from Germany and they were illiterate. So they couldn't read. So they went up in there and kicked Rome ass. And people said, oh shit, Rome fell. So this is the same concept when it comes to your healing sometime. Your healing sometime means you sick. The spirit might tell you to do something outrageous, and you always pass that off. It's just on the phone calling all the so-called experts. But the spirit told you what you need to do. You see what I'm saying? Spirit told you what you need to do. And it's just like we got a friend, Nathan. Nathan weighed about 400 pounds. And the spirit just told him, you know, you need to start drinking that vinegar in the morning, drinking vinegar in the morning and vinegar in the evening. And he just started losing weight. You see what I'm saying? The point I'm trying to make here is a lot of this stuff is going to come up out of you because you are already advanced. And so what we're dealing with here tonight to try to understand this is got to come to this point whereas we start totally having faith or start having faith in the inner self. And it might be something ridiculous. It might be some music. Like take for instance, okay, I used to get up at night and pump my music. Well, since I lived in a house, it really didn't resonate because it's an old house. That means it means that it's got what you call it, insulated. It's insulated at a certain level so the neighbors don't even hear the music. And I used to pump this music late at night. So when Linda came, you got to be considerate of a person that's asleep, and I can't pump the music like that, you know. And so she said, oh no, you know, because she used to live in Sun Ra's house, because she used to dance with the musician Sun Ra, and she was like, no, those musicians, they get up, that was the rule, they get up at night if they had an epiphany, they got to go play the music, nobody ever tell them to stop beating on the drums. I said, yeah, but you know, shit, you know, hey, you know, as times get on, you know, you might be in a good sleep, and I might pump this music. So I said, no, I know, I'm going to go and get me a serious pair of headphones. And something's like, nah, you know, you're going to mess your hearing up with this type thing. And I said, no, I used to do this before. And I used to get into the headphones. I used to heal myself in the mornings. And that's how I got through working on the gig the last time I worked on the gig. I'd get up in the morning, I'd put that music on, and you get a hum in your ear. It's the first song you hear. You ever had a song and you can't get it out your head? This shit takes on a mind of its own, and you be like, damn, I've been humming this song all day long. But that's something that has something to do with the soul and the spirit and what it needs to get the day on. It's like your soundtrack, your mantra, your theme song for the day. To go face some damn niggas and some crackers. You know what I'm saying? So I used to get up under that. So it's interesting here. I said, nah, but my hearing is kind of messed up and shit. So I went and got me a serious pair of headphones. Cost about $80. I went to pawn shop and got them for $20. And I put them things on. This was right before Christmas, and it's done heal. I can hear better now than I could hear before I had the headphones. And I'm like, what's going on? I can hear sounds and stuff. But what it was is it tapped into the inner ear melanin. And because if you can see in this room, I got a couple of thousand albums and stuff and got everything. I even got some fucking Johnny Cash. Where did that shit come from? Now I got all the soul, all the 70s soul, and one day I was like, shit. I'm going to go get some Johnny Cash. That shit sound good. But I remember my granddaddy was playing some shit one time as a little boy, and it always is in you. It's inside of you. Whatever you experience is always with you all your life. So I heard he played some Johnny Cash shit. And I heard this thing as a little boy. He liked James Brown, but he played some Johnny Cash. And I heard this thing on a movie one night, and I said, I got to go get that. And it didn't make no logical sense of why I got to go get some Johnny Cash. But then again, Johnny Cash ain't did nothing but hung out with niggas and the blues. That's all. So all that country is nothing but another form of their blues. The blues is the base root of all shit. You see what I'm saying? So now, so I'm saying here is I heal something with the inner ear melanin. So the point I'm trying to make here is it might be some stuff ridiculous, but we got to get out of the rudimentary and this routine or this orthodox way we think about things. Even when it comes to scholars coming before you making sense. I was at the Melanin Conference, and and I do them every year. We do them, and they had all these scholars. So we was on the podium, and all they was talking about people's diet is fucked up, and this and that and this and that. And the Spirit said, everything that they saying what black people is going through, diet-wise and everything, is what the melanin actually needs. What the melanin actually needs, because it's in another dimension. I'll go through that because I want to explain that. So y'all hold me on that one. I'm going ahead of myself right now, and I know that's kind of getting you all off course. You see what I'm saying? But what I mean here is sometimes it's going to take something outside of what your logical mind tells you. You know what I'm saying? It's got, you know what I'm saying? It's just like the emperor that has no clothes. And everybody was just laughing, oh, you just so beautiful. He's sitting up there naked and shit. And the little boy didn't go by the same, the same orthodox mentality and laughed at him. You remember that? And unclothed him. So that's the whole concept here, what we're dealing with here. Especially when we're dealing with a particular god called Pan. I'm going to show you a couple of these right now. But the one we're going to deal with, I want to deal with Exhibit A. Put that on, yeah. Let's see if you can do that. This is the
Bobby, can you tell me the author of the book, The Ancient Christian Magic?
Ancient Christian Magic by Marvin Mayer, which is interesting here because they got Horus and Osiris up in this stuff. By Marvin, yeah. This is the god Pan. He became the poster boy for the devil. Can y'all see that? I'm going ahead of myself. This is the Greek form, which is Phoenician. Now we find out your Greeks, their mythology come from Phoenicia. You get pre-dynastic Egyptian that travels up into Babylon, Samaria, Phoenician, and all Phoenicia, Manoah, and later on that's where your Greeks and your Romans got their stuff from the Minoans, Phoenicians, and Etruscans. So this is one of the earlier forms, and he has little goat feet, if you can see, but I just want to show you this. Now this is an earlier form. This is the Greek form, and this is the Egyptian form. Now I got these for sale too also, for $5. They got a lot of magic to them, a lot of magic. So don't front on the. This is one called the All God. So this is the pre-dynastic form. This is the All God. You know, yeah, y'all go on through that way. You know, yeah. All right now. Yeah, y'all going through. We got some more chairs? Yeah, okay. This is called the All God. And this is the same form of the god Pan. Yep. Of the god Pan. Now, which means in some kind of way, and I don't know how you're going to do it, it's going to be some magic to pull some magic out of the hat, but in some kind of way you're going to have to become like a little child. Now that don't necessarily mean you got to come around here and be jumping rope out there and want to get on the little short bus and take the little short bus to school and all kind of stuff like that. We're not talking about that. What's that? Move over a little bit. Yeah, well, you know, this is about, you know, well, you know how it is. They can hear a nigga voice now. Think of me as Michael Baisley. You see what I'm saying? The Michael Baisley show. Y'all don't know how this nigga look. You know, speaking down to y'all with that little bit of commentary. And y'all thinking that's worthwhile, y'all want to hear some shit a nigga speaking down to you about. You know, white folks is two white boys wrote Good Will Hunting, 22 years old. And y'all listening to some shit speaking down to y'all. Oh, is the telephone in here? Or you can just put it in there and that way, because I know some of the people still, you know how it is, wait the last minute trying to get directions and shit like that. But anyway, you're going to have to become as a child, because these particular entities is the dwarf entity that represents the other world. It also represents the child is not talking about the baby that comes into the world and incarnates that you are thinking it is. This child is talking about the potential of the future. It's talking about something that hadn't been born yet, but when it is born, it's going to be the new future. It's going to be the gateway. It is the new reality outside of the matrix. That's why it's called Pan, outside of the circles of time. Now, what this means is, because this particular energy is on the planet and it came through within the last month or so, last 2 months, that means that we are really stuck inside of this particular time of a new beginning. This is a great time. Like, take for instance, I went to Baltimore and was doing this lecture, and I did a little sit down the next day, and the guy said, I don't want to put you near the Christmas tree. I said, yeah, no, you don't need to. We don't need to put me near the Christmas tree. We done talked enough about that. And then Pan came through, because Pan came through and said, well, you know, all of that stuff is my symbology. The pine, the tree, and the different things, the toys, and all this type of thing. So we're talking about the toy world, or we're talking about more of a fairy world or a fairyland. So we're trying to tell people now you're going to have to dig deep inside and become that little child, no more than what our artists have already done, like Parliament Funkadelic, Roger Troutman, you know what I'm saying? Even some Michael Jackson with the whole Peter Pan. You see what I'm saying? Now we ain't talking about now getting you some wine and some pills and sleeping over with a whole other little juveniles and little boys and stuff like that. We're not talking about a physical lifestyle. We're talking about a concept that can ease you up even when you on them jobs. You know what I'm saying? It's what comedy does, which is just become buffoonery in our aspect, like fucking Martin with this Big Mama 2. You know what I'm saying? And this nigga, they say he makes more money than any black actor in Hollywood, especially when he does the more buffoonery pictures, he get more money. And that's because the white boy pay him an incentive to keep that foolishness up. You see what I'm saying? But what we're talking about here, and we're going to go into this in a few minutes. I was going ahead of myself. We're going to go into this in a few minutes. But what we're talking about here is we're talking about a form of going into a little child. So what I'm going to do is bringing the child archetype out. Let me see. There's a book here. Let's see. I got a little book wrote here. I might have to go in the other room and get some more. But here's a book called Essays on Science and Mythology. The Myth of the Divine Child and the Mysteries of Eleusis. This is by Carl Carini and Carl Jung. And this is a book, Essays on Mythology and the Divine Child. It's coming from a bigger book called Archetypes of the Collective Unconsciousness. The divine child that I'm giving you and all this type of stuff, guess what the divine child is? It's nothing but your soul. They say, and a child led them. That's even in the Bible, right? That's nothing but your soul. You must become before you come to the kingdom of heaven, you must become as a child. So what we're dealing with here now is the divine child. So we're going to start a practice now of the divine child as coming into your own, coming into yourself. How many people stay by themselves? Okay, you stay by yourself? Start walking around naked. You see what I'm saying? You know, some people can't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? It can be quite vulgar. You see? Because if you ain't horny, the human body can be mighty ugly on the wrong damn day. But, so what I'm trying to get at here is you're trying to break down layers of what has happened to us in this adulthood. This adulthood has suppressed the ego and is trying to break down these layers. And what it is we all stressed out. And what it is we got to become a little child again. But now, what we're talking about here now, we're not talking about a little child in the particular aspect of you, number one, becoming co-partners with your child, something like that, and not being a parent. We're not talking about that. But what we're talking about here is that somehow in your mind, you have to reverse the polarities of what this beast has put us into at this particular time. You're going to have to reverse that, and it has nothing to do with age. It's just the way you think of things that you say, shit, I wouldn't have thought about that because I'm too much of an adult. But maybe a child would think about that because it didn't have the experience of being told that this is the way something is supposed to be. You get where I'm coming from here? Now, what I want to do first, to put this on, I want to show you 2 or 3 things. I want to show you this one first. I'm going to show you this. This is the King Kong movie. Now, I'm trying to think here. Should I put this up here so everybody can see it? And show it? And then I'm going to do it all in one step because people can't see it. But nobody can see the TV screen, huh? Okay, we're going to do it all in one step. That's what you can do when you're in your own shit. God damn it. In your own shit. You see, when you're in your own shit, you can do what you want to do. You know, I couldn't be busting up in people's place of business and taking their shit all their TVs and screens and doing what I want to. But that's what you can do when you're in your own stuff. And this is a good one of them good sturdy ones. This is an Orion. This is about the cheapest motherfucker you can get. I had a millionaire boss And somebody broke into my apartment about 9 years ago.
You look at TV. I'm gonna look good.
Oh, you so kind. Wow. You so kind. Okay. I'm gonna put it, there you go. Now y'all can see it. All right. Okay. All right, now let's get this. Okay, now I got this. Okay. What was that? Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Now, first thing I'm going to show is this. Oh, okay, hold on.
That might not be a bad idea right now, Pete.
What? Cut it off?
Yeah, just for the TV.
Well, I can't because it's all hooked in the same thing, so the TV ain't going to cut on. You see what I'm saying?
Light off over there for
Yeah.
me if you can. Since you want.
Well, it's not. Wait, yeah. We can you just twist them. They're like easy access, like easy bake oven. There you go. All right, now I want to show this because I asked myself this question when this last King Kong movie came out. I said, now wait a minute, hold on now. I know they do this Last Temptation of Christ. They had Last Temptation of Christ, and they had this last one that came out last. What's the Mel Gibson one? Passion of Christ. I haven't even looked at it yet. I couldn't force myself.
Exactly.
You know. But every year, should I pour libations first?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, man. Let's do this shit, man. Get them theirs. Okay, yeah, we're going. His brother Keebalon brought the rum, so we're going to give him some of that. That's a little glass down there. Can you see that little glass right there? That little shaken but not stirred little. You don't have to pull it up. Just take this. Well, yeah, give me the glass. Give me the glass, yeah. There you go. Okay, now this is the little glass they drink out of. This is the underworld. So we pour this in here, and by Monday, this motherfucker be gone. They'll drink it all up. That's why they call it spirits. So that's theirs. Now they act as for the whole house and stuff like that. But they love it. Any kind of, and you can tell they black folks, because if I pour them some of this about a week, then all of a sudden they stop drinking it. Then if I pour in something new, it's empty. So they be like, they get tired of shit just like everybody else. But these used to be spirits. So it's interesting here. So I'm going to pour this libation. Didn't want to spit on you. Get me a little sip. All right now. You know, so you can do that when you're in your own house. You know, this ain't no church. So everybody can see this. You can't get up now. And you know. And another thing, before we do something, this is another thing too. If you're having a little bit of problems, guess what? Your problems will start to disappear when you stop judging. You know, because you got a lot to judge from. People are fucked up.
Yes.
And if I talked about people being fucked up, you know what I'm saying? It'll take 24 hours, 365 days a week. You see what I'm saying? Or, you know, whatever. 365 days. Anyway, but I found out now one of the freedoms here is if you stop judging. I'm talking, and what you have to do here is some of the most hideous people, come on through. You come on through, you go around. Some of the most hideous things is when you somebody do something so ridiculous, and it's so easy to judge, but that's what this whole concept of going back to this child thing is. It's a freedom when you just say, oh, fuck it. All of it's beautiful. Even this crazy fool here. You know what I'm saying? And when you start doing that and stop judging, then a lot of things happen. Let me give you an example. I'm going to come to the age and stuff. Well, I'll do that later. Let me put this damn King Kong shit on. Anyway, this, did I bring that other remote control out here? We got another DVD remote control. Hold on 1 minute. Ain't about shit. You know, see? Look at there. Damn shit, damn near brand new, and you can't even get the fucking door open. Ain't had it a damn year. The door won't even come open. VCR is much better. Go back and get that movie, White Noise. When they had to contact them spirits, they needed a bunch of VCRs because you can't do it with this digital shit. Yeah. Now, this is a King Kong. Put this shit over. This is King Kong. This is one of the bootlegs. Thank God for the Africans. Now, I'm going to click this thing down. I'm going to click this thing down to the end. Before we do that, hold on. Let me do one thing. Wait a minute. Before we do that. Now, here's a movie about a black man falling in love with a blonde white woman. Now, in the movie, when they capture him, to let you know it's a black man, they say, in his land, he was a king, but now he's nothing but a captive. Now, I'm going to set this thing up. I'm going to go to the end of the movie. When he sacrificed himself over the white woman, he's on the Empire State Building. The little planes can't kill him. You know what I'm saying? So he just sacrificed himself because he was in love and she was in love with him too. You know what I'm saying? You know, she was in love with him too, as the white woman is when it comes to the black man. You know that shit. But the point here is, I want to show you how blatant when they make these movies, they just don't make a movie in Hollywood just for entertainment purposes. They make a movie because they're trying to reinforce a cycle. You see what I'm saying? Now, he's on the Empire State Building. He's all in love with her. Now, he's throwing his woman and bouncing the black woman around, killing them all up. They got bones all down there. You know what I'm saying? Well, he done ate the black woman up, but he in love with this white woman. But like some black motherfuckers I know, shit. That's right. Goddamn Rick James went to prison for torturing the black woman. You understand what I'm saying? And when them niggas all died, they always had, you know, just like Richard Pryor now. They held that nigga captive for about 4 or 5 years. He's supposed to been made the transition. But that white woman held him captive. That's a ritual. Understand this. Nigga couldn't walk or talk. And it kept that nigga alive 5 years more, you see, because that's the ritual. Try to understand this thing here. It was on South Park. They had one on South Park. The cartoon South Park, and Isaac Hayes get married a white woman, and they said, you better, and they tried to stop him, and at the end, the white woman turned into the damn devil at the wedding. You know what the white man trying to say, but anyway, at the end of the movie, I'm going to show you something at the end of the movie, and I'm going to explain it to you. Now, he's going to sacrifice himself, King Kong, for this white woman. He's down there dead, and I'm going to show you this to you. Okay, now, all right, we're going to go all the way down. Go down to the end of the movie. And let's hope this shit don't freeze. It is a bootleg now. Hold on. I had all the rest of the stuff queued up, but I couldn't queue this up, but I want to show you this. Okay, hold up. Okay, now. Hold on. Let me just keep on going. Hold on. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, they're in New York. This is the end of, no, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute now. Hold up. Hold on. Let me see. He's going to sacrifice himself for the white woman. Let's see. That's the little white girl. Okay, hold up. Let me go back, hold on. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, no, hold up. Anyway, he's going to sacrifice himself. So you get the gist. Damn, if I had my remote control, I could speed the shit up. Hold on, I think I know where it is. Oh, here it is. Okay. Now watch this. Now I'm gonna fast forward this thing. Fast forward it. Now she's going up on the building. Fast forward this shit. Put it on 32. Y'all all right? Okay. Now She's all in love with him. She's waving. The planes are coming, they shooting, but the planes can't kill him. Because they're too small, and this is 1938, so, or whenever, 35, 32, or whenever. That's when the film was supposed to have taken place. It just was made this year. But I want to show you this. Now he's looking at her all in love, and he's going to put her down, and then he's going to sacrifice himself. And then I'm going to show you. She talking to him and all, you know. He all in love. Now I'm going to show you this, and this is going to be amazing. Let's see. He's going to jump off the building. Now here you go. He's sacrificing himself. Y'all come on through. He go on around that way. All right. Now watch this. Okay. He's getting ready to jump off the building. And then I'm going to show you what happens here. Right here. She all hugged all up with him. Like new raws and shit, you know. But this is one part that most people didn't get a chance to see. No, most people didn't get a chance to understand this. And they do things all the time. It's blatant in these movies. Now, did he fall? Yeah. Now watch what happens here. When he falls, okay, he's falling. And watch what happens right at the end, right before the movie goes off. Now she's there. Then her white man comes back up. Now the white man come back up, and he, you know, after they done dumped the nigga, she going back to her man. It's all blatant stuff. It's all blatant. Look. Here come her man. She was in love with him, but she don't have no problem going back to who she got to go back to. You see what I'm saying? You know, light bill got to be paid. You see. I wanted to show you this shit here. Linda picked this out because she said, you didn't see it? I'm like, no, it got past me. Look at that. Okay, they all hugged, embraced. And she was in love a few minutes ago with a big ass 8. Now she all back in love with this Jew boy. Now check this out. Check this out. This is the scene right here that I want you to see. And watch what the two white boys say. These two guys. Now watch what they say. Watch this. He said he's just a dumb animal, don't know nothing. But did you just see what I just saw? Watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna backtrack this. Hold on. I'm gonna rewind it. Look. He said it's just a dumb animal. He said, why did he corner himself like that? He said it's just a dumb animal. He don't know nothing. Now look. Look. He just a... Look at the black man. The black man is jumping around like a step and fetch. And I want you to see it real quick. Listen. First of all, they don't even put black people in goddamn movies now. I want to say this again. Show you this again now. He's the only one there. He's the only one there now. 19. Look, come on. Now wait a minute. Now look. Now wait a minute. Please. Now. Put your head again. He said, why did he corner himself? He said, he's just a dumb animal. He don't know nothing. But look who's in the background. Look at the black man. You got to see it. It's real fast. But what? Huh? Deep psychology. I don't want to do it again. Anyway, what I was trying to show you was, when he said he's just a dumb animal, don't know nothing, although the black guy's trying to see the 8, he's jumping around like step and fetch it. And the moral to the story here is The black man that is on the ground that they just said is looking like Stephen Fetchit and King Kong is one and the same. And that's how they do things on a subliminal level, real subtle. How the hell are they going to have a black man when the two guys is talking, he's right in between these two guys? You understand what I'm saying? That means that, and I asked myself, why do they keep making this story over and over again? You see? Making it over and over again. And hell, the one from 76 is just as racist. Now, I want to show this particular piece. I showed it earlier, but I want to show this. I want to show this. This will be a lot easier to manage. You best believe that shit. Watch this. Okay, now I want to show this piece. This is going on in Europe, but it's trying to show you the tide of what's going on. This brother and Ella saw it first, but I want to show you this thing and show you what's going on in Europe and what is getting ready to happen. And you must ask yourself this. Well, we had a history of racism and all this thing in this country, but I want to know what is the people who really don't even have a history of mass black people living with them. Why are they acting this way? But this is going on all over Europe, and I want to show you this.
Black athletes have to endure just to play in Europe, although few people have noticed and even fewer have cared. Ugly examples of blatant racism have been occurring on football pitches across the continent of Europe for years, in full view of fans and cameras. English fans on the rampage, attacking anything that moves. On those few occasions when European football has made news in the States, it has generally been for incidents of fan violence, or as those abroad call it, hooliganism. What has rarely if ever been mentioned is the level of outright racism.
Tell me, give me some water. You didn't want?
Soldiers retired from the game in 1997. Racial abuse is still the norm from right-wing sections of various states. Bananas are still being thrown. Local Jim is alive and well. Do you have something like that to me when I was supposed? 2005? Yeah. Exactly. 2005. Thank you. You're right. Yeah. 2000. That's why I was. Since I've been going back. Since I've been going back. Here are one of yours biggest stars. Uncle Rand's when the World Cup in 1998. He's tapped with the famed arsenal of London. He's involved with the greatest striker in the game today. But even players of his stature are immune to the racial abuse. Since you've never been abused, you don't know how it is. You don't really know how it is. You've heard the lucky kids. Common? Yeah. It seems like the stature is like, you're free to say whatever you want to say. You're free to do whatever you want to do. One time I had to go to the college. I could steal some stuff on me. I thought I took the college. And I started. And my shirt right there was full of spits. So it spits in me. It's not just the fans. Last year, I was on the receiving end of a racial slur leveled by one of the highest profile coaches in all of Europe. Luis Aragonés, Spain's national coach, was caught on tape referring to Henri as a black shit. The Spanish national coach referred to you as, quote, a black piece of shit. When you first heard it, what was your reaction? You have to show any point in America. I thought it was, I was trying to find my help or something, you know, I thought the camera was in the room.
You've been pumped, yeah, because then I saw it in the news, then I saw it again and again, and I was just like, wow, I can always forgive, but I can never forget. The insult leveled at Thierry Henry by the Spanish national coach put the issue of football racism on the front page of virtually every newspaper in Europe. Still, it might have been quickly forgotten, but for what happened several weeks later at Madrid's Bernabeu Stadium. There, in a match between the national teams of Spain and England, the crowd of 50,000 plus put on an ugly display of racism that shocked and disgusted observers throughout all the country.
Shouting every time Dawn like that shit anywhere near the ball.
Every time one of England's black players touched the ball, monkey chants rained down from the stands. What made this night so different was that it wasn't just a few thousand right-wing fans shouting the abuse, but the vast majority in the stadium.
We saw in most of the stadium, about 80 to 90% of the stadium getting involved in racial abuse of one kind or another.
Piero Power runs Kick It Out,
Now,
the biggest anti-racist.
I just want to show you a little bit of this,
He was at the game that
just to show
in
you
Madrid.
what is going on and how powerful this thing is getting to, is going to.
If I can put it in those terms.
And Australia, all over France, everywhere and stuff, you
There
see.
were other racist taunts from the crowd as well. Throughout the game, some fans bounced in rhythm as they chanted, "Jump up if you're not black."
You chart these incidents.
You see, I just wanted to show you a little bit of this. You know,
On where you're
I just want to show you a little bit of this, just to show you this piece, just to show you that this thing is going on. And they just had this whole thing in France where they had the rioting and all this stuff going on about 2 weeks ago. Now, I want to show that, but I want to show you this. To show you that they have places on this earth that is still not explored by people, and we might never know. And in order to truly get explored or explore this thing, you got to be rich. So what happened is they have these tours that go on across the world, but somehow the tours will only be a portion of what they want to explore. We got to ask ourselves, why is it that Mexico is right next door? It's always kind of been closed to us. You see, is it because of the Mexicans, or is it because certain sacred sites or certain things that they don't want us to have access to? You see what I'm saying? Let me give you an example. The Etowah Mounds is down up here, well, up 75. How many miles is that thing? Etowah Mounds. Anybody know the Etowah Mounds? Anyway.
Yeah, it's like 3 miles.
It's not that far. It's less than 30 miles, about 20 miles. Anyway, we did a ritual back in 1993 on the Etowah Mounds. And it was a sister, Sister Joy, it's a couple of sisters, I can't think of the name right now. Sister Ty Seeley, it was me, it was on my birthday, it was on my birthday in 1993. And at the time, there was another sister, I think I was like 32 or going on, I think like 32 or 33, and the sister was 62 or 63, because I just turned 44 and now she's 74. So the energy, there's another sister named Shakira, she moved back to California. So the energy was real powerful. So what happened was, we went to the mounds, and so they decided, and they did something, and I wish we had it on camera, where they all bent over, and you would go up under these sisters as they was bent over, and it would almost be like it was a, now I'm getting ready to show this other piece. Can you still see me? Yeah. And it was like going back into the womb and being rebirthed. And we did this on this Etowah Mounds. And after we did that ritual that day, they stopped people from doing ritual. They stopped people from staying up there for only a few minutes, because we opened up a vortex, and the people were saying, well, now, ever since some niggas came out here, ain't nothing but ghost men coming out. So we opened up a vortex on the Etowah Mounds, and all these Native American spirits started coming through this gateway. And after that, they got real strict. So I'm saying about these particular sacred sites, this particular thing is only been shown in history last Tuesday. This is amazing. I was fortunate enough to see one of these things about a year ago when I went and had to go buy a $150 book. And I saw a little picture of it, and I said, my God, what the hell is this? Why weren't we shown this thing? And this was the one in India? Okay, right. So I later on came back in June. I went back to New York and got a decent enough book to pay a lot of money, and it had one of these temples. I want to show you this particular temple. They talk about when you go to India, you might see the Taj Mahal, and although it's beautiful, and although it's all of that, but they don't show you the stuff in southern India. But I want to show you this particular temple, and I want to show you this because I want to say one thing about it. It's more than just telling you a sightseeing. It's not really a history class. What I want to show you here is I got another tape called The Shadow of Angkor Wat. Now, this stuff is all available. We got it here, too. You can buy it. And on the tape, the guy that was building, the guy that was actually a part of the construction. Now, the Angkor Wat was built in the 8th century. This guy said that he was a reincarnation of a person who built Angkor Wat. Now, apparently, the white people must have believed in it, and the people who did the documentary must have believed in it, and apparently the people in Vietnam, because when they did the documentary, they said, you need to go find this guy. So this was one of the guys that was talking. And he said, I helped build the temple of Angkor Wat. He said, how was it done? He said, they copied it from the cow stables in heaven. He said, and at the time, and we got this thing documented, he said it was me and a group of workers, and he said Shiva, Vishnu, Vishnukar. He started naming all these particular gods. He said, and they helped come down and build the temple. And I often wondered, how was those pyramids built? How was those Egyptian temples built? And why is it the white folks are still trying to find out, as like Asa Hilliard said, no matter how much them white folks tell you about the pyramids, to this day, they don't know how them great pyramids in Giza Plateau was built. All that shit they've been telling you is speculation. They have no idea. They don't know nothing about the Mexican pyramids or nothing. Now, it's interesting because this is interesting here, because I'm going to show you something on this tape. But they had a documentary on the Dogon a couple of years ago, and they were supposed to go up this huge mountain. There was some rock, some mountain climbers. So they said, look, we're going to go up this huge mountain. And so they said, but you got to get the priest. This is not a good day to climb. You need to find out when is a good day. The priest said, nah, you can't go today. You got to go tomorrow. It was a huge mountain. The mountain was so tall, they have to dig these things in the side. And they got this thing, they dig in the side, and they sleep on a bed on the side of the mountain. Because they're so tall, they can't climb the shit in one day. Now, before they was getting ready to leave to go to the mountain, they had these little black women. They was milling these things with this little thing they have, milling this grind, this grain with this little round-looking thing. And they was milling this grain. It was black women at the foot of the mountain. When they got on top of the damn mountain, 2 days later, after sleeping there, what did they find? They found them same little shits that the black woman was milling the grain with on top of the damn mountain. Another nigga said he went to the Dogon. He's saying he saw a nigga on some stilts doing damn near 100. Super people. So they build these temples. Now, this particular piece, I'm going to show you this, and then I have the piece that I got for sale also, but I want to show you this. This is a piece. Now, let me get this. Now, did that one disappear? I got this one. Hold on 1 minute. Y'all all right? Now, this is a temple. They just showed this shit for the first time Tuesday. Because they don't let people go to the sub. Oh, damn. I put it in the wrong one. Technology. Put it in the wrong one. Put it in this one. Okay. Now, I want to show you this. Okay.
But as he got closer, he was appalled by what he found.
This is, they talk about the temple of
The lost and live temples of India,
of Caravaggio.
which even today are shrouded in secrecy.
Yeah. So, he talks about. Now let me just rewind. He talks about how when people go,
It's white marble.
they see the Taj Mahal. This is the India that people see. And and he talks about the Taj Mahal and how the guy had 500. What did he say? 5,000 harem. You know, but they say now. Oh no, I just want to Wait. Now, I just want to hear this one thing here. And I just want you to just see this temple and show the greatness. But I'm not just saying this based on your sightseeing and stuff, but although you know the Taj Mahal. Now, listen.
There is a more ancient secret in it.
Well,
In its tropical jungles, where one of the greatest building efforts in human history produced thousands of strange and mysterious temples. But today, they are lost and forgotten. This is India's deep south, the heartland of traditional Indian.
All black people now. You get down to the south, ain't nothing but blue black people.
And immense palm forests, where every few miles a temple soars above the surrounding countryside.
Now, this is the temple that they're showing.
1,000 years ago, one of the greatest kings of India, Raja the Great, embarked on one of the largest building programs in the history of mankind.
Look at these temples.
That still continues to this day.
And these got statues on them.
His successors moved more stone than the Great Pyramid of Giza, and his artists created some of the greatest treasures the world has ever seen. Over time, Raja's temples became larger and larger. This one is so vast that more than 200 Taj Mahals could fit comfortably within its walls. Why did Raja do it?
They're showing this for the first time in the West last Tuesday.
In Egypt's pyramids, he was moved by the power of faith.
Look at this nigga here. That's dark.
In the larger temples,
look, these got statues on them, and they're all colored.
Of religious tasks necessary to keep the gods happy.
They're pouring on the lingam. That's the sacred penis of Osiris and Shiva.
Here, the priests are worshiping the phallic.
Now I want to show you something else.
A stone ring found in thousands of Indian temples.
Now I want to fast forward it. Go to a piece. Y'all all right? Because this is you got to put this on record. And then I'm gonna go into some stuff. This is another one.
When it was finished 1,000 years ago, it was the most amazing building in India, more than 10 times taller than any.
He built temples all over India, but look at this.
But it's all made of granite, one of the hardest stones.
That's just what they say. Look.
The personality of Raja is stamped all over this building. The most successful king the South ever produced had to build the greatest temple ever seen.
Let's see. They got hundreds of them. It's not just one or two. They got them all over India.
12 feet in height.
But I want to show you something. They're talking about, now I want to show you this. Now they're going to show Raja. Now watch what they say about Raja, the guy who built this thing. This is they didn't know how he looked when they found this. This is the god Shiva that he worshipped. Raja is a devotee of the god Shiva. Watch when they show Raja. What they say about Raja.
Beautiful eyes. But best of all, they found the only existing portrait of Raja.
Raja built all these temples. This is his guru. This is Raja.
Follower of Shiva.
Listen.
Raja's hair is piled up in dreadlocks, making him look like a Jamaican Rastafarian.
Did you hear that?
Standing behind and gazing his...
Listen what he say. Hold on. Look what the white man said. Oh, he going on from this tape. He talking about they got this ritual bathing. He said maybe this is how white people learn how to start taking more than 2 baths a year. This white boy said this shit.
His bearded guru. As a follower of Shiva, Raja's hair is piled up in dreadlocks, making him look like a Jamaican Rastafarian. He is standing behind and gazing respectfully at his guru, as well he might.
Now, we want to show you, that's Raja, but I want to show you this, what they say about this temple here. Wait a minute. I want to show you this. I'll show you one other little piece. Now, they used to fight on these elephants. They used to get the damn elephants drunk. And like most people get drunk, they're ready to fight. They get them drunk with rice liquor. And then the elephants be ready to fight. And they kill up people. I just want to let you hear this little part right here. Wait a minute. Oh, y'all all right? This is... Oh, no, we got this shit for sale now. God damn it. You got to become an entrepreneur these days. Goddamn Kroger That's the supermarket down here for the people who don't know. It's high as a motherfucker.
It was simple. They got the elephants drunk. Before that, the war elephants were made to drink arak, fermented rice liquor. As in humans, it made the elephants ready to blow.
So they said they gave them this wine, this liquor, and they got drunk, ready to fight, and they put these sharp swords on, and they cut through things. But I want to show you this part here. I want to show you this one little part. Anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and paraphrase what the guy said, because I don't take out no damn commercials and shit. But I just, yeah. But I want to take out what that. I'm gonna see if there was a part in here. Now, this is the part right here.
One of the hardest stones in the world were hacked out of the earth.
Now listen what he says.
The quarry that provided the granite for the temple was over 50 miles away. So how did they move this huge amount of granite 1,000 years ago?
Damn, I ain't got time, but I'm gonna tell you what he said. That particular capstone that you saw, they say they want to know the capstone weighs, how many tons they said that thing weighed? I mean, it weighed these huge tons, and they wanted to know how in the hell these people got this capstone. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. They wanted to know, how did they get to hear this? Whoa.
How on earth did you get a 40-ton block of granite hundreds of feet in the air in 1010 AD?
They said, how in earth did they get a 40-ton granite rock in the air in 1010 AD? There's only one way, and that's what they're trying, the mystery with this thing, and the reason why I had to say this. The gods used to come down and help them build the shit. The only way they got a big-ass 40-ton rock, hundreds, I mean, what, how many miles up in there? They say what? I'm just saying, just to get it that so many feet in the air, how can they do it? Who can lift it? You see what I'm saying? But remember, I remember it was talking about the guy, Gardner was saying that the Egyptians had a powder that they put on the powder, and anything that they put with this powder on, it would fly. It would float. And the British had a damn boatload of this shit and didn't huh? It was a white powder gold, but it was the most advanced form. And they put it on a ship and didn't bolt it down or didn't cover it, and all of it blew away but a little saucer full. And they got it in the British Museum to this day. But whatever they put it on, it floats. So we're talking about some real masters here. You see what I'm saying? But I want to say that and all because the simple fact. Now what does this have to do with us? Well, it has to do with us because it's saying now that all of this type of stuff is back with us. Now, it's back with us because I want to put this back down. We're going to set this back down. So you go ahead and do your thing.
You gotta move this stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you're going to have to hold yours while I get mine.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to put this down, and you're going to put that back on top. Yeah. Are y'all all right? Okay. Boy, y'all sisters ready to help. Damn. I'll tell you. All right. Okay, now. But this is the reason why they don't show this type of stuff. Now, they make all this stuff about the Victorian mind because they had a lot of sexual images on the Temple of Caravaggio, and they didn't want to show it, and to this day they've been suppressing it. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It's got something to do with not showing any type of architecture, any type of greatness outside of European design. And because it was dark-skinned people that built this, you see, they can show you easier because they're still lying and telling you it's white. I'm looking on History Channel and all of them, and in Discovery Time, they still got all of them white. So they can, because the Egyptians are not around. But when it comes to these particular people, the East Indians, but we talk about the ones from southern India, which is black. This is the reason why they won't show these things. Now, it's the same thing that's going on over in what's that? I think it's what's the tallest building in the world? Where's Malaysia? Malaysia has two of the tallest buildings in the world. Put that on there. I want to show this. Has two of the tallest buildings in the world. Anybody hungry? Because we got all this food up in here too now, so. Huh? So some of y'all niggas want to eat now. We done went through some painstaking shit. So we got, you know. Now, this is the Temple of Angkor Wat, the size of 2 Manhattans. You get the picture. You know, somebody's head, but you don't know what that is. But the size of 2 Manhattans. Oh, yeah. Okay, oh, I see, yeah. That's your noggin. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's the size of 2 Manhattans. You can hug up to it and stuff, you know, and all this. Now, the thing about this is, if you go to Malaysia, do you see these now? You see, well, first of all, let me show this. To show you what it's inspired by. This is the size of 2 Manhattans, but when you go to Malaysia, first of all, kind of superimpose that right by it. You know, keep the whatchamacallit on it. You kind of put it on the side a little bit. Let's see. Now, this is the goddess Lakshmi. If you can see her crown on her head, later on was built, the same crown that's on her head is built with the Temple of Angkor Wat. And this is Lakshmi's crowns. Now, it's interesting here because there's a bit of history about this, because the tallest building now is in Malaysia. They had it on a movie with Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones called Entrapment. And they showed one of the tallest buildings in Asia, in the world. It's in Malaysia. Now, the key here is they had a woman architect, although they had the people came in and they built the building tall and reinforced it. When they had to get the actual shape of how they wanted it to look, the woman said we was not going to build another building that looked like something in the West, all square or whatever type thing. They said we wanted to build a building that was representative of Asian history and basically East Indian history, because the stuff from East India came and is what influenced Asia. So they decided to build it in the form of that, and they got 2 towers over in Malaysia, tallest buildings in the world, that's got these 2 steeples on it, and it's round like this with the Temple of Angkor Wat. You see what I'm saying? And to this day, they barely show that other than the movie. They don't show those buildings because white folks are not building those buildings. You see, they're not building those buildings. Very key that you try to understand how this thing is going on and the particular architecture and how this stuff is. But remember now, this crown and all this stuff here is still talking about stuff representative in us. Now, with that going on, let's go to some other things they want to get into. But now, to get a close-up view, I got, this is the book that I went, so when I was in Cleveland, she said, well, you selling Zero's pictures. She said, what's so big about that? I said, no, it ain't that. I said, I'm selling you some shit that you can't get. It's $5, but hell, I went and paid a goddamn $100 for the book. And it's so, you know, I have to go to New York, and when I'm someplace and I have to hunt this stuff out, I say, so if I go and get these rare books and print these things that you don't see and charge you $5 for them, that's a deal. Because this is not just some shit I got out of some Sunday morning paper. So here's another architecture book that's the same Roger building that you're seeing. I got it here for $5. But you're getting something that's only been seen in the West since Tuesday. And I got it, I saw it last year in a smaller picture, then I went back and got it in June. So here's some pictures of the temple, one of those particular temples, and we have this for $5 for the people that want to deal with that. Y'all all right? Yeah. Okay, I want to say this right quick. Me, Linda, and the sister Kimberly was in an Egyptian exhibit in the summer of 2004 down at the High Museum on Peachtree Street, the Splendors of Egypt. And they had a doorway to Hathor, and they said the doorway was walled up. But they said because the doorway is walled up, you're not supposed to go through the doorway physically, you go through it spiritually. And so when I asked, I said, man, I would love that doorway. And so when I asked Het Heru, would she provide the doorway? She said, well, no, use my temple. And I sold the temple of Hathor for a year, and some things happen to people magically based on how much you believe and how much you use your own archetype of the collective unconsciousness, your own imagination. So about a year later, we was actually able to find the actual doorway. This is one of the doorways, and when we saw this doorway and we looked into this doorway, we started cleaning out, and all kind of funny shit started happening to us. We started cleaning out, and different things started happening as far as lining us up. So here is this particular doorway. This is one we did find about a year later. So we have this available for the people that want this also. Now, moving right along. Y'all all right? Moving right on. Now, I wanted to say this one other thing about that book, The Ancient Christian Magic. They have their papyrus in there based on this fried chicken. Based on this particular fried chicken in this papyrus, but they said this particular chicken was named the Coptic Jesus, which is a form of Horus. Now, that's also a god called Abraxas, and it's a form of a rooster. I got another book called Gnostic Jung, and they show pictures of that Abraxas, this rooster, as well as the god El Cristo Negro that's celebrated every October 15th in October the 16th in New Mexico. El Cristo Negro, and it's also there's also a symbol of a rooster. But the key here is, who would ever know this become the national meal for Black America? And it's ironic because they had a thing on TV about American Eats, and they did all types of food from around the world. And when they came to fried chicken, they went back to black people. They said this thing originated from slavery in the South. And they said that they needed the chicken because black people couldn't go in certain restaurants, so they would fix them a box with a banana, an apple, and some fried chicken, and they could travel around the South with that, so it wouldn't perish as fast over the day if you get that fried chicken. With all that grease stuck up in that shit, and it ain't going nowhere for a couple of hours. But the key here, and they were talking about the box and the bucket, and that became the cornerstone of Kentucky Fried Chicken and all the rest of them when it came to box. It was a shoe box, and later on when you see those boxes, that's because they took that from the whole slave aspect. You see. So all this stuff here is very key. They watching us while we trying to be them. Now you're going to go and get the movie called The Incredibles. Anybody seen the movie The Incredibles? That movie is about black people and black people's powers. Don't look at the face. It's about black people and black people's powers. And it was a story about these superheroes. Heroes is what? Heru. And the superheroes was doing things, and they were saving people's lives and all this stuff. Now I'm going to show you how it lines up with history. They were saving people's lives, and then after a while, the people got tired of them and passed a law saying no more superheroes. So they had to go in retirement, which represents, when they went in retirement, was almost like slavery because they were not able to use their superpowers in public. In the old days was when we used to rule. Get the white pictures out of your mind, because they did have a black superhero that they didn't kill in the end. You see what I'm saying? But he came back, and when he came back, they had neglected to teach the children the powers. And to say, you're going to have to learn how to do this thing on your own. You got to get this movie because it's our story, but they're trying to tell you something about our powers, The Incredibles. Came out in 2004, as well as Fantastic Four, talking about our powers. Our powers. Now, I'm not just talking about theory now. See, what happens is this. The first part of my career had to get through tons and tons of esoteric material. Then, since 2000, most of the stuff that I've been talking about has been my own experience. Because I went into a zone. Now, this is the key. The spirit that just came is a child spirit. He told us he wanted some toys. And he told Kendall, he said he wanted a horn, a red horn, and he kept saying wonk wonk. So went out and bought him a bunch of horns, and what he really wanted was one of them damn clown horns. You see what I'm saying? But we got him a bunch of toys, a bunch of musical instruments, and all of that. And it's some real powerful stuff that's going on. Like take for instance, since I got my headphones, I'm not able to wake Linda up, so it's liberation and freedom now for me. I can jam my music, you see what I'm saying, and she can go and sleep and do what she want to do, and all, you know. But it's interesting here how I'm becoming more of a child. Like I say, you know, if I don't get no sleep during the day, I'm up till 5 o'clock, which I don't sleep during the day, so I'm up till 5 o'clock. Like they say, you know, a child, you got to put them down and give them some sleep, or they be up all night. So when I'm up at 5 and I'm going to bed, and she's getting up at like 4 and waking and all. So I didn't want to interrupt our cycle and stuff. So I'm a night person. So, but since 2000, I started listening to this music in the dark. And show you, I was talking about how powerful the records are. I got up the Sunday night, and I went to go and change the record, and these green sparks shot out. Shot out my fucking hand and shot out. And then I started rubbing the albums, and this green sparks just started shooting out. So I said, well, wait a minute. Now, this happened in 2000. This happened in the year 2000 when I was up in Detroit. I was in this guy's bed, and he had one of these little blankets that had that little peas on it. You know how the blankets get all peased up? So he had a wool blanket and had them peas on that shit. So when I woke up, when them nappy blankets. So when I woke up, I rubbed something and the spark shot out. And I did it all that night, and I never could do it again. The thing about it was, when I did this Monday night, I said, well, it might be one of them spirit things like it happened Monday night. It might not happen again, because that's the way the spirit gives you things. I went back in Tuesday night, rubbed it, sparks flew out. Wednesday night, rubbed it, the sparks flew out. Then I realized what's going on here. We are changing. The incredible, what it was talking about here, we're getting back our powers. The problem here is, you've been trained that this stuff don't supposed to happen.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And so when I saw these sparks, I said, man, this is going on now. What I got to tell you about the pan thing tonight. Pan and Harpocrots. Let me give you Harpocrots. So you people that don't, I want to show you this. Y'all all right? I want to show you this. What we're going to get into, and I got the pictures too, so you can take one home if you want to. When you want to, when you want to break.
About
an hour, okay. Let's roll. Huh? Okay, hold on. Let's roll then. Hold on. Let's see, did I have any more here? Hold on. Here we go. Harpocrots. Here we go. All right, put that on there. Okay. That's the god Harpocrots. Okay. That is the god Harpocrots. Y'all all right? That's the baby Horus. You know it as the baby Jesus. Okay? The baby Horus, you know it as the baby Jesus. Now, this God and the all God, this is the all God I just showed. And the picture of Pan is different representations of one's self. This is the baby Harpocrots. Now, the key here is people are looking for stuff outside. Like, take for instance, this is what the deal is. Let me show you some traditions. Now, people are now, we got a group that's doing the Agnostic now in Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? And, that spurred off, and that's pretty good, because the simple fact here is anybody doing any damn thing these days, god damn, is great. Agnostic, where you burn this cow dung, changes the atmosphere. It's a whole ritualistic practice of this smoking, whatever. But the key here is, the mystery here is in ancient India, the priests used to deal with the Kundalini energy. And what they did over the years, the Kundalini energy, the energy on the inside of us, that raises up, brings us back to Godhead or whatever, the Godhood or whatever. Anyway, they developed a system later on for the mass public to partake on a Kundalini energy that normally the public wouldn't be able to do because they were not adepts. So therefore the Agnihotia came about as a form of a ritualistic form of the flame burning, the fire and the smoke and all of that type thing, the cow dung. Well, the Kundalini starts from the root chakra near the anus, which is coming out of the dung. The shit, Jesus born on a manger. Your soul rests down in your gastrointestinal tract for most people. And then it rides, and the only reason why you are conscious because your soul is now at the heart chakra. Otherwise, you wouldn't be even interested in this stuff. So the Agnihotia is a ritualistic thing to do this, to celebrate the Kundalini aspect. But ultimately, that's only a tool in a ritualistic aspect. Ultimately, it is the Kundalini energy on the inside which should be the focus. Same thing with this. The baby that we're talking about is nothing but your soul. But the key here is, which is the great news, and I'm going ahead of myself here, when the baby appears, it's all over. Because the baby is a birth, not from a baby incarnating on the earth, but the birth of your soul in a new reality. And the baby showed up over the course of the last 2 months. And as a matter of fact, Katrina was a form of the baby coming. We were born out of what? Water. Right? And it doesn't matter whether it was HAARP or whatever, because the storm had already brewed. The storm came from Africa. So it doesn't matter on the condition of what Katrina came. That whole Katrina aspect was a part of a birth to give forth the child. And everybody's looking for the child, and the Christians looking for the child, but the child is in us. That's why when I walked to the stereo, and which was only a glimpse in 2000, I saw it one night when that nigga Peasy blanket, his naughty head blanket. When I went back and started touching them records, and it started shooting green sparks, looked like the same sparks when the damn Wicked Witch, the East or whatever, when she touched them red slippers and that damn shit shoot out, it looked like that kind of shit. And to let you know I wasn't bullshitting, I said, I got to get one up on this. I woke Linda ass up. I said, you got to come see this shit. And I was charged. And I was doing the sparks. And then she said, let me do it. And she did it, and she couldn't do it. But when I touched her hand, this damn sparks started back. So that's that energy. So my point here was obviously that I tapped in to a form. It was it was one warning, a message saying, hey, look, this is not another concept of principles of stuff that you've been teaching all these years. This is the real shit. It's about tapping into your own powers, and we got them. You got to see the movie Incredible. You see the movie Incredibles, because that's what it's talking about. Even the movie Fantastic Four. It's about our powers. You see what I'm saying? And that's what the child represents. We'll go into some more of that in a few minutes. You take your pay? Okay. All right. Okay, dope. This is a picture of a woman, and I should have put this on one of those too. This is a picture of a woman doing dancing with a chicken. And she's possessed by the goddess Urzuli, which is her altar in there. By the goddess Urzuli. And I blew this up from a small picture out of a book. And this is a captain about her being possessed, and then they eat the chicken, they sacrifice the chicken and all this. And it's a woman. And then I took her emblem, and when I put her emblem on here, her spirit came and got inside of the actual Xerox machine, and there's certain pictures here, little things look like smoke, and that is actually Urzuli's spirit. And so the other night when I was doing some reproduction of this one, the spirit one actually got into the actual in the mix when I was Xeroxing it, and so I said, well, apparently she wanted to give this one with the spirit. So this is another one that have a lot of powerful images. A few other things. Like I said, I do have this one of that temple that you just saw. We have that one for sale, as well as we got a limited edition of these, which is the king and the queen. I don't know if I think you have them in the back room. of the king and the queen, which is a color picture of a king and the queen that they did in Africa in the 1800s. So what we're going to do is, you can come and you can get the pictures. You can see Ruger for some videos, and then you want some people to get something to eat. We're gonna pump up a little music, and we're gonna come back in about 20 minutes or whatever type thing here and all. So you get you something to eat. What's that, sister?
Can you tell us what the prices are so we don't have to keep asking?
As far as the prices of the pictures, the pictures are okay. The pictures are $5. Okay. The videos, he can tell you, huh? 10 for singles on the DVDs. I have some videos that's 10 for singles. Also, my last one I did in Ohio, but he has the DVDs, and I have the videos. So they're 10 for singles and also I think doubles. I don't know what your doubles are. 20 for doubles and 20 for doubles and stuff. So we, give or take. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna come back. We're gonna get something to eat. Get something to eat. And now, the reason why I said about you can't judge things is because these times about judgment, because we are in the realm of the apocalypse of the heart. There's a book, I think I got another room. It's called Theosophia by Arthur Verse Lewis. It's the stuff that the Pope and them. Hey, y'all chatters boxes up in there. What's up? Okay. I can't concentrate when I hear talking. Throws me off. So anyway, it's a book called Theosophia by Arthur Verse Lewis. It's a book where they reveal the stuff that is behind what the Pope and them actually worship. Not the stuff, not the fake stuff they give you, the stuff that they actually, because whenever they line up with some stuff, it's serious. So the book called Theosophia, and it's all based on the goddess Sophia, which is the real Virgin Mary that they deal with. So it's a book, and in that particular book, they talk about a realm that is coming is the apocalypse of the heart. So the apocalypse that you hear in the Bible is not necessarily talking about physical things. It's talking about inner aspects of judgment. And the apocalypse of the heart is the key. If you can basically, we talk about this inner war within us. And you talk about, so in so many words, it's like, if you win this war within yourself, then the gateway open, and that's when you get those magical powers.
True that.
You see, that's when you get the magical powers. Whenever you win the war with yourself. And basically, it's the apocalypse of the heart. So basically what you do, and it's a great one. I told the sister Devonna this, a sister from Chicago, and it's a good one you can do as being conscious people. And it's one that can really put you at ease and can really open the gateway on a fast level. And that is, whenever someone upsets you, especially now, we're not talking about, we don't have a few conscious people that we know that's in a certain amount of consciousness that you can talk to. So you can basically, you don't necessarily have to talk about them. We're talking about zombies, dead people.
Yes, okay.
Dead people we talking about is the walking dead. Now it's interesting here because in Sally Ann Glassman's book, Voodoo Visions, they kept talking about zombies. And even in the book, the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot Deck by Sally Ann Glassman and Louis Martini, they was talking about zombies. And I'm like, wait a minute, they can't be talking about this person that's made into this walking dead that they do with some ritual down in Haiti. No, the zombies that they're talking about, in the spiritual aspect, when they got these channels, they're talking about our everyday black people. Just dead. Those are the zombies. Those are the ones that's going to really upset you, especially family members. The problem here is, and this is one that you can really do to set things on. Just remember that we're talking about children. And when you're talking about children, grown-up children at large, they're all children, then it automatically, you can forgive a child because they don't know no damn better. You understand what I'm saying? Now you got to add the same thing when you say they're only children. You got to add the same thing when it comes to adults. And this is a way to really forgive a person in the particular aspect of you don't want to judge them anymore, because what you're trying to do is you're dealing with the heart chakra. Now, we're not talking about Christianity, about forgiving your enemy and all that kind of stuff. We're talking about neutralizing the people that give you these problems. You see what I'm saying? And make your system shut down so that the gateway can open and you can get your powers. So the first thing I do is somebody make me mad, I go, well, what can I say? They're just children. Because what we're talking about here, we're not talking about God take care of sick people and fools. The God that we're talking about is us being the God and overlooking that. So it's like saying they're only a part of an illusion in the first place. So again, this apocalypse of the heart. This apocalypse of the heart. You see, that's one of the keys. It's in that book, Arthur Verse Lewis's book, Theosophia, if you can still get it. It's the stuff that the papacy and them worship when it comes to the mysteries of the divine Sophia. It's more to it. It's more to it than just the forgiveness or whatever type thing here, but it's in so many words, we're talking about a science of neutralizing the world around you, this particular matrix, and reducing it down to nothing. And that's what we're talking about. And so we in this apocalyptic culture right now, but where we're dealing with, we're thinking it's outwardly, it's inwardly. Now, one thing I can say is this. You ever see these movies, all these future movies where they got people living on the streets, eating rats and killing you for gas, and the civilization is shut down. And that's the white man's rendition of what the civilization is supposed to be, because he's still ruling things. So he figures that the true apocalypse will be whenever he is toppled or his particular civilization has been leveled. But in actuality, these particular sci-fi movies that we get over and over and over again showing the same thing, it's not necessarily talking about him and his civilization. It's talking about what we've been going through the last 20-something years. The desolation and the desolence of black communities. So in so many words, when you see these movies and you see all that, you say, man, I don't want to live in a society like that where all, they're killing each other for gas and doing different things. But if you look and try to understand and get it out of the Hollywood version and understand what happened to us, especially the last 20 years, whereas we have plummeted down to nothing, then you'll understand that that's got to be the apocalypse that these movies is talking about. The plight of black people. That's the difference. You see, so in so many words, if that's the apocalypse, then we can laugh and say, well, hey, we are on the inside of that because this shit has already gone down because black people have lost it. And so the apocalypse that they're talking about is talking about us and our condition. The other one that they're talking about, when you said something about the church, what was the definition of the church? And I heard you was talking about it. What was the definition of the church?
A building where people congregated and they become swines.
Become swines?
Right.
Wow. That's interesting.
That's in the old English dictionary.
Well, that's about right. The sheeple. But one of the keys here is when they talk about, the apocalypse talk about, and all the Christians are waiting on, oh, well, the apocalypse is going to come and there's going to be this particular church being taken up first. You've heard this shit. Now, they got 12,000 denominations of Christianity alone in this country. So, shoot, I want to know what God's going to distinguish between all that foolishness. The church that they're talking about in the taking up, it was not talking about anything physical. It was talking about the rising of the consciousness, the taking up of the consciousness. So in this so many words, the last, let's say 10 or 15 years, or 16 or 17 years, and although some people are new into consciousness, that particular part about being taken up, they even talk about you will be caught up. That's talking about consciousness. It ain't got shit to do with nothing physical happening or some particular organization. So in so many words, this stuff has already happened. So the mere fact that we are in here on a Saturday night talking about this stuff. So that particular church that they're talking about is the church they're talking about consciousness. You see what I'm saying? So in so many words, they're all waiting on this apocalypse and all this type of stuff, and it's already happening. That's why the people in Kashmir, or later on what they call Afghanistan, which is a part of that, said that we're waiting on a group of gods, some hidden gods in the United States. You see, in the United States. The key here is damn, I was looking for that. Yeah. The key here is, like I said before, is to try to find some type of way to gain back the powers. And that's what we're going to go into deeper into this divine child in a few minutes. This particular divine child. Let's see here. few other things right quick. Let's see. I want you to take this particular, I want to take this overlay and put on there. See if I can find this thing right here. In 1919, British occultist Aleister Crowley showed this at a somebody reach in there and get me some water and pass it up. I think there's maybe some still in the refrigerator. Yeah, some. Any in there? Yeah, cool. Okay, yeah. This is lamb. That's good enough. This. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now, this is lamb. His name is actually, you get the llamas in Tibet, but his name is actually Lamu, come to find out. Now, this particular picture was shown in Greenwich Village in 1919 at an art show. It's a picture that Crowley saw in an astral image, in the astral realm, and he drew it, and then they showed it. Now, this became the prototype of all your big head aliens you've been seeing. That's right. Only thing they did is they made the eyes bigger. Right. Now this was way before there was any alien thing. The alien thing, or what they call the whole UFO phenomenon, didn't come about until 1947. So this was in 1919 when he showed this. Now, when he showed this, it accompanied a book when it was talking about the inner self, and this is called Lamb, which is also called the baby of the egg. And it has an egg head. You see, what this is really talking about is a rendition or some type of archetype of your subconscious or your true self. The alien that they're talking about is nothing but your true subconscious aspect of yourself. Now, if you go and get the movie Men in Black, and the Jew man was walking around with the diamonds, and he was walking around with a cat, and the cat, they said that the universe was on Orion's belt. Which Orion's belt, okay, you got the star Sirius and you got all that in Orion's belt, but the real belt is in the pineal region of the brain. The belt. So the universe is on Orion's belt, that's the pineal gland. Or the pearly gates, which is the pineal gland. The gates of Zion is the pineal gland. Now they gave me that in 1996. They said the spirits, the gates of Zion, that's the pineal gland. Pineal, pituitary, hypothalamus, what have you. And then in 2000 I bought a book called David Goddard's book, The Tower of Alchemy, and they're talking the same thing in the book. You see, but the Spirit gave me about 6 years before, 4 or 5 years before. So the gates of Zion is the pineal gland. So, so in the movie, they had the man, the Jew guy in the morgue, and he mashed this button on the ear, and his head opened up, and there was this little alien in there saying that the universe was on Orion's belt. The alien looked like this. Remember that? That's Lamb. Now Lamb is supposed to be, and they have made it clear even in the OTO or Crowley Society up to this day, is supposed to be the leader of an extraterrestrial civilization. But you thinking it's an extraterrestrial civilization out here, and guess what the extraterrestrial civilization is? We are, and the Lamb is on the inside of us. Huh?
Sometimes they call it the Lam serpent.
The Lam serpent. They call it the Lama in Tibet. It's got several things. It's inside of us. So what I'm saying here is now, there's a connection. The next thing up. This is a Crowley's Book of Thoth. You can get the Thoth deck. This comes from. Or his book, Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot by Lon Milo Duquette. Okay. Push that up. Let's see. Now go over a little bit. Go over. Keep on going over. Like you're doing it. That's as far as it can go. Okay. Now, can you see that? Hold on 1 minute. I want to cut this.
Backwards, turn it over.
Yeah. Turn it over.
It's a tarot card.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, now, come on. Now, this is the child Harpocrates. It's the same baby Horus that I showed you before. This is another rendition. This is Crawley's Tarot deck of the child Harpocrates. Same one. The baby Jesus, the baby Horus. Now, this is so powerful until I just realized what they was talking about. Now, the story goes that Crawley had married a woman named Rose. In 1904, they traveled to Egypt, Cairo, and there was vacationing on the honeymoon. Rose started coming down with trances, and she says, Horus is waiting for you, which is the Horus, the Christ figure. You know, that comes from Kemet, not no man 2,000 years ago. And the only reason why they hadn't gotten rid of that white Jesus Christ is just, that's right, for that reason. They know that they got the entire, half the world worshiping a white man. And if we are the Christ people and we exalting this white man, they say, hell, he's keeping us in power. You see, because despite us with all the black Jesus and we done learned all this kind of thing here, the majority of them people is worshiping a white boy. And a Jew boy at that. You see. Now, the mystery here is, he said that the child Horus is a calling, and it's all about the child. It's all about the child. The child is the child Harpocrates. He's got a thumb in his mouth, so this is the baby. Inside of there is the god Horus, or Ra-Heru-Kahudi, and it has serpents. It has the wings, and it also has little fetuses down here saying this is something that's going to come in the eons. The name of the card is the eon. But it has these fetuses. So what this means, they're talking about a genetic bloodline. Now, I got some older books from the 1950s, some UFO books, when it was really, was finding these strange phenomena. Before the government came in and they had these man-made UFOs from Area 51. And in there they said that the Christ, based on all the occults, what they knew, they said that the Christ, number one, was an image of a person who is only a figure on which a group of people is supposed to aspire to be. That's the first thing. And they say it is an entire race of people. The white people now is calling it the
Indigo.
Well, we'll see this thing about the indigo thing, because everybody's still looking for some children to be born. God damn it, look at your children right now. And that question is motherfucking answered. Because if it's them, we fucking in trouble. We are the indigo children. The one that it's a consciousness. Newt says, I am black to the blind, but I am blue to those who can see. We are the indigo people. That's the consciousness. If you look at the third eye, you will see it's a deep indigo. You see what I'm saying? That's right. So it's us. You see, so they say it's an entire race of people. And they got a new name for it. They call it the Horus species.
Had everything to do with the DNA changing.
The DNA changing and the Horus species. Now, we was here the last time, and what you said that the doctor said, we're going to put that back on the tape.
Oh, yeah. I had a guy, he was 38 years old, used to run a lot, and he come up with high blood pressure. So they put him on some medication. And he got sick from the medication. So he went back to another doctor, a Jewish doctor. He didn't tell me that, but he just said a doctor. When he went to the doctor and said, I don't know how to diagnose y'all African Americans anymore, because DNA is constantly changing.
That's right.
So you don't have to take the medication because it just changed. I don't know what to prescribe for you. So he didn't take the medication. He's fine. He lost 10 pounds.
Exactly. Now let me get into that while you said it. But the DNA was constantly changing. Now, I tell the story how my mother got in a car wreck. My brother knows how to buy these Mercedes Benz and get them real cheap. Had one in my yard about 2 years. Anyway, he shipped her Mercedes Benz down to her damn thing. I don't know, he get $2,000 to $3,000. So she's cruising around town in her Mercedes and got in a car wreck and they ain't left nothing but her in the damn seat. The car was gone. Ain't left her but her sitting on the damn seat. So they took her to the doggone doctor and they couldn't find nothing wrong with her. Couldn't find shit wrong with her. They said, we don't know what's going on. This woman got in a major car wreck, the car gone. And they ain't got nothing wrong with her, but her blood pressure was extremely high. And they said, we got to get that down. And they convinced my mama to take high blood pressure medicine. Let me tell you what's going on with this thing. Yeah, this book, I'm going to put this on the thing again. This book, and it has to be, this book, Lillian Silburn's book, Kundalini of the Depths. No, Kundalini Energy of the Depths. Lillian, L-I-L-I-A-N, Silburn, S-I-L-B-U-R-N. In the introduction, they talk about how whenever your heart chakra is activated, it starts to give you a whole nother pulsation, a vibration. So in so many words, the high blood pressure is coming from people that has activated their heart chakra and the other levels are activated to a certain level. And as a result, your blood pressure has to rise. In order to get the hormones and all of the alchemical components to go throughout the whole body to make you into a superhuman. So the war is within the blood. You see what I'm saying? Because your blood pressure has to rise. Now this is the other thing. So what they're doing now here is this. Now my mama, then all of a sudden she cool, next thing you know, this summer she started going through dementia. Going all crazy and stuff, couldn't figure out what it was. She saw her mother and she saw her great-grandmother and all this type of stuff. So as a result, she got worse, and they brought her down in October, and she was walking on a walker and they had to feed her. Now this woman ain't had no heart attack, ain't had no stroke, we don't know what the fuck is going on. And my brother came down here, and all my brother did was got her off the high blood pressure medicine for 1 week. They had her on 5 different high blood pressure medicines. And for 1 week, when they got off that, she became completely normal. Her birthday was yesterday. I was talking to her, and nothing wrong with her. She's completely normal, driving her car. As a matter of fact, she was hollering because they brought a Mercedes back up here. When they brought her up here to nurse her back to health, and she was hollering in to bring her car back. So they had to go back down this weekend to bring her car back because she's well. But they got her off of the high blood pressure medicine, and she came back. Another sister named Belinda, a nurse, talk about her on the tapes. I saw her a month ago, and she walking on a cane. She looked like an AIDS patient. I mean, she's almost near death. We saw her. I said, what the hell is going on? She had no stroke, no heart attack, but she's on that high blood pressure medicine. The high blood pressure medicine, they give you the first dose. The second dose and the stuff is AZT. And AZT is the stuff that kills you that they call AIDS. Right. The high blood pressure and all of that is the same as the goddamn AZT and the AIDS. It's the same shit. But what they're doing is trying to stop a war, a blood war of the coming and rising of the DNA in what they call the Horus, what did I say? It was the Horus species. So this Horus thing, remember they talk about species in the movie? The Heru shit that they was talking about, they're talking about a Horus species. Is what they're talking about here. Now, the key here is it all starts with the baby. Once the baby appears, it's over. But the key here is, the good news is the baby is appearing in us. Well, see, the thing about it is this. They don't know it in one way. They can tell our blood system, they can tell all the stuff, but they don't know when the baby going to show up. This is the mystery on this. They became, so what happened is this, because I also, Spirit came and said, look, your people are doing the right thing. When you see your people out there and they just fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Half of them Uncle Toms, or they nose up the white man ass. You know what I'm saying? The other ones is just all kind of crazy shit. They say that is a decoy. Because of that decoy, this made this white man assured that there ain't nothing coming about us. So now he's gotten so infallible. You see, till he figures there's nothing that can topple me. Because when they look at us and they look at our leaders, and they look at all the shit that's going on, all these old Negro preachers and all this old stupid shit that don't have a clue, then what it is, it sets up a buffer zone. And the crackers say, hey, we got this. Then they're looking elsewhere. But we are the ones. So in actuality, our behavior is divine. Another thing also, too, in the Spirit said, the Willie Lynch program. Anybody seen the movie Animal yet? Did you see that yet? That shit was off the chain. With Vane Raines did a movie called Animal, him and the guy Terrence Howard. And he go to prison, and a revolutionary Jim Brown is teaching him about the Willie Lynch letters. It's bad. But anyway, it's called Animal. It's out at Blockbusters, Hollywood, or whatever. But anyway, the Willie Lynch syndrome. You say, well, wait a minute, what is it about this Willie Lynch thing? We know the thing, what it did, they put the woman against the man, light against dark, this, you know the whole thing. But what did it make? What is the production? What is the end result? The end result is simple. The end result is, let us make a slave, is to just let us make a child, a permanent child. So then the Spirit came and said, well, you're talking about the child. There's only been one race that's been made, a race that is the oldest race that has grown up and has been made a child. Grown up children at large. But the Spirit said, wait a minute now, because you're looking at it the wrong way. The child is a person that not only is it this particular person that has a behavior of some particular baby, some type of adolescent or whatever, it is also a person that is shirked of responsibilities. And when you shirk of responsibilities, it means that we've already been trained to let go this bullshit.
Yes. Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And that's becoming more of a baby of an egg, is to start new. Yeah. Half the country already did it in New Orleans. Motherfuckers got the slate clean. And they begging to be slaves again. Here's a motherfucking nigga that got his whole Social Security number wiped the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'd be happy as shit.
Me too. You know?
We got a survivor right here.
Good.
The key here is the baby of the egg. It's still the egg, but they're talking about a generation or a species. That's the species that we're talking about, but it's in the blood. It's so much in the blood until it's all about the high blood pressure. That's the number one shit he talking about now. And he got niggas on high blood pressure, which leads to the doggone diabetes, which they make, and then they put you on that damn dialysis, and it's over.
Major high.
So in so much the war that they're talking about, they're fighting it right now. But if we don't need the people out there, we only need the people in this room and the people that's in the conscious level. And the only thing you got to do, because I done found this thing took another level. The god Shiva, which is a form of Osiris, which is also a form of Horus, all these multiple things came back this summer, and he said, eat the pineapple.
Yeah.
He came back and they said, look, I just started drinking just a dull pineapple juice. And there's something in the pineapple that stops the high blood pressure.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't stop the high blood pressure. What it does is it regulates. It's going to be high. It's supposed to be high. If you spiritual, your shit is supposed to be high. My shit is so high until I ain't had a blood pressure since. It ain't no pressure.
Yes.
You know, they can't track it either way. But the point I'm trying to make here is, It's not based on no food, not based on none of that bullshit. Because one sister was an extreme vegetarian. They coming down and they say, what it is? I don't eat nothing. But their blood pressure is high. That's because it's supposed to be high. That's spiritual. And so we're talking about a war, but we're also talking about this thing happening in this Horus species. Now, let me break this thing down on what happened. The ancient Egyptians, what they did is, they knew that we was trapped into a level of reincarnation. So what they did was they singled out a few priests and the pharaohs. And you know when you see the funerary scene where they got to have all that writing on the wall and stuff, and they got to remember all this stuff when they pass on so that they can remember who it is. In so many words, what they did was they designed this level of a certain amount of spirits that can get past reincarnation by remembering who they were after they died. So they call that the quantum level. And these particular ones, they didn't mate, they kept a certain bloodline. And so they mated within a certain group of people that were conscious and had a certain intelligence. They didn't even mate with a lot of the people in the regular everyday life of ancient Kemet. As a result, they was able, if you look, this is the book, there's a book, that book, Egyptian Heaven and Hell, right there. In this book, this is the complete volume that came out in 1996. The one volume, last time the complete volume was out was like 1906. So they had one little volume, which is one book out of this volume, that they had for years. And in 1990,